A lot of famous recipes are claimed to be made with love, but what's a dish that's probably made with hatred? My mom makes killer mashed potatoes. 0 lumps. Does it by hand. I think that's why she was never physically abusive toward us. I just finished working with a chef whilst his sous chef was away. I'm not trained in cooking at all and they paid me minimum wage, but he still expected finesse and was abusive to all the staff, most of them minors. I was told off for making only 1 carrot salad starter when we needed 2. We didn't. I made that fiddly little salad with so much hatred. When the food was sent it became obvious there was only 1 on order, so I asked several times, oh is that 1 for later then, and he just refused to answer. Love the sass. Head chef needs to move on. No need to being a jerk when it's already hot and uncomfortable in the kitchen, especially to minimum wage workers. My year 8 cooking teacher, who was presumably rented from the Institute of British Stereotypes or something, suggested adding both Heinz baked beans and Marmite to the same lasagna to make it healthier. So, probably that. And to think I was upset about our school's lasagna containing peas. My mom's snail stew. My mom rents a plot of land for growing organic veggies as a hobby. Now, every dang year an army of snails invades her crops. She got so fed up one time that she spent hours collecting them all and then cooking them in a spicy stew. Bear in mind, I'm from northeastern Spain, we eat snails, so it's not weird at all. Anyway, it was the best snail stew we ever had, and it was 1000% made with pure, unadulterated hate towards the main ingredient. Anyway, she makes it several times every summer now. It's always fantastic. You're lucky, we mostly get naked snails who are not edible and just annoying. Worked in a Chinese restaurant for 3 years. They had Hainanese chicken rice, poached chicken, on the menu. We'd prep the chicken in the morning and fridge it. When the orders came in, we would pour chicken stock from a perpetual stock vat into the dish and let it soak, then drain, repeat a few more times until the chicken was piping hot. The draining was done by hand, so you had to press your palm against the chicken and flip it almost vertically so the stock drains back into the vat. First round draining was okay because the chicken was cold, so the stock came out slightly above warm. Second round and third round was just fire. Reason we did it by hand was because the chicken was already cut into presentable form and using a sieve or spider would result in breaking, imprinting the skin or disturbing the presentation. I never managed to desensitize my hands in those 3 years, so it was just painful throughout. Fried dough fritters. The twin sticks of fried dough you pull apart before eating, usually with porridge, mostly an East Asian cuisine. They were first created to send a tyrant and his concubine to heck. Backstory: there was this tyrant and his concubine, rumored to be a 9-tailed vixen, who were completely mad and cruel. They invented new torture techniques to try on opposing court members and have been known to brutalize civilians for fun. No one could retaliate, so they defaulted to an old superstition. That was, apparently by using magic and all, souls could be caught and stuffed into a bottle. If the soul belonged to an evil person and was causing havoc by haunting and tormenting people, the soul would be punished. How? Deep frying. The bottles would be tossed into vats of hot oil. By frying the souls, they experience all the pain of actually being deep fried. This would cause resentment and anger. The resentment would grow so deep that their souls would fall into heck, the 18th level, and can never be reincarnated, because they would be unable to let go of the pain and anger. The peasants, not knowing magic, made simple stand-ins of dough and heartfelt wishes of eternal damnation, then fried it. If one person tries and fails, that's okay, because thousands of people would do this every morning. Sooner or later, someone has to succeed and send a couple a speedy one-way ticket to heck. Nowadays, fried dough fritters are just nice with hot, thick, congee rice sprinkled with chopped onion greens and slivers of shredded boiled pork. That seems ripe for some heck girl shenanigans. In the act of deep frying this soul, your own anger has inflamed beyond reason. You too shall now be condemned to the 18th heck. Once ate a pudding made of vegetables in my school cafeteria. That thing looked like green goo put together with some cooked eggs and slime. I swear I tried to eat that thing and end up gagging every time I took a bite. I can't even remember its flavor, but it was bad. So that vegetable pudding was definitely made with hate, or maybe school cafeteria's food in general. School cafeteria food is made with resigned indifference and engineered to be as cost effective as possible. The result is a soulless abomination that can somehow be too salty and bland at the same time. Extreme hot sauces. They're not made for flavor or enjoyment. They're designed to destroy the mouth, stomach and butthole of whoever eats it. True story. I mix the crazy hot sauces with special paint and apply it to the bottom of my boat. It is enough of an irritant that it keeps barnacles and other marine life from growing on the hull. In Titus Andronicus, the play by Shakespeare, there is the famous pie. From Wiki, when tomorrow is gone, Titus has them restrained, cuts their throats and drains their blood into a basin held by Lavinia. Titus morbidly tells Lavinia that he plans to play the cook, grind the bones of Demetrius and Chiron into powder, and bake their heads. When the emperor calls for Chiron and Demetrius, Titus reveals that they have been baked and the pie Tamora has just been eating. For context, Demetrius and Chiron raped Titus' daughter, Lavinia. Then they cut off her hands and cut out her tongue so she couldn't tell anyone who did this to her. He served the above mentioned meat pie to their mother, Tamora. Shakespeare had a goth phase. Zermina is a Polish soup made out of blood that is traditionally served by a girl's parents to her fiancé when they didn't like him. So this soup is literally made with hatred in mind. Homemade Samoa Girl Scout cookies. You take caramel and toasted coconut, then try to spread it on a dry crumbly sugar cookie. The coconut caramel mixture sticks to everything except the freaking cookies, which split way too easily. After several hours and a lot of yelling, I finally had about 10 usable intact cookies. Never again. Potato chips were supposedly invented out of spite. Supposedly the story goes some rich guy kept complaining that the cook, a guy named George Crumb, kept messing up the potatoes he was serving. So George sliced the potatoes really thin, fried them to a crisp, and salted them. The customer loved them and other customers started ordering potatoes that way. Thanks for the awards. He couldn't murder the customer, but he sure AF could kill that potato. There's this shop in Chinatown in Singapore that one of my so-called friends took me to. He took me and another guy there. After one bite of the noodle the guy ordered for us, our eyes drowned into tears, our tongues disintegrated, our sweat glands just let it torrent out all over. It was the most agonizing experience we had ever had in our life. The guy who took us there and the shop owner were just there laughing at us. I swear that bowl of whatever it was made with pure malice. A lot of food in Singapore is popular largely because of good chili. How is Nashville hot chicken not the top answer here? The story goes something like a wife found out her husband was cheating and wanted to punish him. Dumped all her cayenne into a fried chicken dish. Unfortunately for her, he loved it, but literally made with hatred. When I was 8, I used to eat cucumbers daily, and my sister knew this, and she despised me for stealing her parents away from her. Lady, we're siblings, the heck are you talking about? So she cut out the middle of the entire cucumber, filled it with chili powder, told my mom I'll give him his cucumbers today and force-fed me the cucumber. 10/10 worst experience. Jesus. The birds are caught with nets set during their autumn migratory flight to Africa. They are then kept in covered cages or boxes. The birds react to the dark by gorging themselves on grain, usually millet seed, until they double their bulk. The birds are then thrown into a container of armagnac, which both drowns and marinates the birds. 13/14. The bird is roasted for 8 minutes and then plucked. The consumer then places the bird feet first into their mouth while holding onto the bird's head. The ortolan is then eaten whole, with or without the head, and the consumer spits out the larger bones. The traditional way French gourmands eat ortolans is to cover their heads and face with a large napkin or towel while consuming the bird. The purpose of the towel is debated. Some claim it is to retain the maximum aroma with the flavor as they consume the entire bird at once. Others have stated tradition dictates that this is to shield, from God's eyes, the shame of such a decadent and disgraceful act. My mom hates roasting chickens for some reason and I loved eating them as kid, which eventually caused her to sigh and answer stupid chicken when I asked what was for dinner once. maybe 12 yo. Much to my delight, roasted chickens are still called stupid chicken in my family. I'm 34 now and do most of the stupid chickens with my husband. Cooked with hate, eaten with love. Those fruit salads that are just bits of fruit and layers of mayo and whatever else. I read about those recently on a food related Reddit post. Wait. Fruit in mayo. That sounds beyond revolting. The Icelandic delicacy that is fermented Greenland shark meat, usually served with a 40% schnapps made from potatoes. No one in Iceland really likes it. It's made out of pure spite for ourselves mostly, but we tolerate the taste and the booze to see tourists vomit. Added bonus if it's the Danes. True story, the original Nashville hot chicken recipe was a recipe for revenge that turned into a recipe for success. The lady who made the recipe made it because she found out that her boyfriend was sleeping around behind her back. So she was gonna to get him back by making a chicken breading that was so hot that it was almost impossible to eat. What she didn't knew at the time was that he loved spicy and loved the chicken so much that he told his entire family. When she realized that her plan backfired, she decided to cook for his whole family and made chicken that was even hotter than before. Even though the chicken is too hot to taste, they all loved it and wanted more. It was though when she finally told them that what he did in the dinner was supposed to be her revenge. The guy and his family felt bad, so they opened a small diner for her if she continues to make the chicken. And the rest is history. Even though she doesn't have the legal trademark rights to the word Nashville hot, everyone from Nashville knows who she is and is now a millionaire. Scrapple. My grandma would eat that it smelled awful. Actually most anything she cooked for breakfast. She would make long cooked cream of wheat and fill it with so much dried onion and hot sauce it was light orange and looked like oatmeal. Served with instant coffee with instant creamer. We called her the Iron Stomach. Scrapple is so good if you fry it hard and eat it with potatoes. That onion cream of wheat does sound like demon's breakfast. Excessively spicy curries that you only find in British Indian restaurants. Oh, you want it spicier, do you, Mr. Robinson? How about friku hot? Is that hot enough? Maybe. Seizure because you're cooking from the inside hot. Yes. Maybe frick off back to India, except when I am heavily inebriated and would like to eat parodies of your national cuisine because I'm an ignorant imbecile with genitalia that does not meet my own unrealistic expectations. Hot. Please enjoy your meal. Here is a complimentary poppadom. Please be careful not to choke on it. That dialogue sounds like something out of Rowan Atkinson's Indian restaurant skit. Aspic was a woman's right to choose before there was one. I firmly believe it was a passive-aggressive torture device to get back at having to be a homemaker. There is this soup made from duck's blood in Poland. Yeah, probably this one. Like, somebody actually thought, oh, it'll be an awesome idea to bleed the duck into the soup. I also heard it was served when a family was gonna say no to an engagement proposal. Look up duck press. We did this back in Edwardian times in Britain too. The duck was pretty dead though. Lamb's fry and onion. Nope, the smell sets me off now, yet my ex-mill always made it every dang time I had to visit for dinner. Every dang time. Yes, she truly hates me and tried to serve me a huge plate knowing full well it wasn't happening. I'd go outside, winter or summer, and wait. Every dang time over 18 years. Crepes, those things are so good, but I remember my mom trying to make us some. We had a crepe machine and it took forever to get one right, so we would be starving, watching her try over and over to get them thin enough. By the end, we were grumpy and just wanted to eat, and my mom was grumpy from trying to get them just right. Crepes are the freaking worst. Every time I make them I spend the entire time thinking how much less work pancakes are. Foie gras. Some sick bastard must have been angry enough to force fatty substances down a poor goose's throat until its fat and liver is exploding. Actually, the reason it was such a prized delicacy for centuries is that it was just pure luck to get it just prior to migrating. Here will gorge themselves and will end up with all that day in their liver that is turned into the energy they need to fly to their destination. If a hunter managed to get one in such a state, it was extremely rare. Anything with licorice. Probably also prune burgers. You chop up prunes, mix them with beef, season the beef so the prune sweetness won't overwhelm the meat, and then feed it to people during a business meeting. Somebody's gonna need to poo for sure. This one creme brulee I ordered, it was frozen. I told the waiter, who sent it back. Next, I hear a bunch of swearing from the kitchen. Something about how it's supposed to be that way, followed by the slam of a microwave door and soon after a beep. Creme brulee comes back out, half frozen half hot. My mother once tried to make low-fat, low-calorie frosting for a low-fat pound cake she bought for my last day of school for the year. She was convinced we were all too fat to eat the real stuff. Anyway, whatever she created required a knife to cut and stood on its own. I'm pretty sure everyone suffered, including the frosting. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.